Hello students, hope you are fit and safe at your homes. Once again, I am back with the second chapter of the same book. I repeat again with the second chapter of book 1 Flamingo, titled Lost Spring by Anise Jim. See, children, this chapter Lost Spring has two stories, or I can say it is divided into two parts. First, I find a rupee in the garbage. Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. And the second part is, I want to drive a car. I want to drive a car. Some clue you might have got in these two titles, but both are the different stories with different characters, but they have or they share the common theme. Before discussing the theme, title, what is the title? Lost Spring. What could be the lost spring mean? Lost we all know, found and lost, common simple general word. Spring, what is spring, children? If we talk about spring, spring is a season. Spring is a season of blossoming, blooming, of freshness, of new flowers, of new life, of new hope, of new dreams. Again, new, everything new in the garden. Now, if we talk about spring in the life of man or in human life, spring can be explained as the period of childhood. Why? Because childhood is the most beautiful period, a new period, a period of learning, a period of discovering, a period of exploring, a period of knowing, a period of curiosity, a period full of dreams, a period full of hopes. Okay, so spring symbolizes beauty, hope, joy, happiness, freshness, new hopes, new dreams, new life. Okay. It also symbolizes the childhood. Lost spring, when children lost their innocence, when children lost the joys of their childhood. Now, how children can lose the joys of their childhood? Of course, when they are denied the opportunities of enjoying their childhood. What could be the conditions that they are denied the childhood opportunities? They are denied the childhood joys, the childhood happiness. Family reasons, society reasons, social conditions, socio-economic conditions, poverty, you can say. They are denied to go for schooling, they are denied the schooling opportunity, but instead of that they are forced to work at certain places so that they can earn some money and they can help in the survival of their family and the family members. So lost spring, when children lost their childhood innocence, their childhood joys, their childhood happiness. So the chapter is about the childhood. The children, these two stories are going to tell you the life of two or might be many children, those who are suffering from poverty, those who are denied the opportunities of schooling, the opportunities of education, and therefore they are forced to work on certain places to earn some money. So poverty could be the theme. Second, child labor, because they are forced to do work to earn some money. Apart from this, this story have one or two more themes also, which again we will discuss after finishing the chapter. Now children, even the Lost Spring, we will discuss the title a little later on also, though I have explained you that Lost Spring is the title which is showing the stories of the children, or showing the plight of the children, those who have lost their childhood joys, childhood innocence, those who are forced to work into the dirty and dingy places so that they could earn some money, they could earn something to help their family in their survival. Let's start with the very first story of this chapter. Um, Sometimes I find a rupee in the garbage. Now this story is of Sahib, a small boy Sahib, whose full name is Sahib-e Alam. See the name Sahib-e Alam, which means Lord of the Universe. Now, being the Lord of the Universe, which his name means, he is a rag picker, picking the garbage, picking the rags, carrying a plastic bag on his shoulder. Just this small boy, Sahib or Sahib-e Alam, is a rag picker. Okay, he wants to join school, he wants to learn, he wants to study, but this child does not know, or this child does not have any school in his neighborhood, this child does not have any school in his town, so that he could go there and he could complete his dream, or he could study there. So denied the opportunities of education because there is no school in his town. Rag picker, picking the garbage, picking the rags. Why? Because he has to help his family in the survival. Okay, when author asks him if he wants to go to school, or if the author opens the school, will he join him? He says yes. To his surprise, he says yes. And after a few days, when again the author meets him, he desperately, he eagerly comes to the author and asks him if her school was open. The author got frustrated. She got angry because she did not mean her words in reality. She realized that she has made a fake promise to the child, and then she realized that such fake promises are made to these people, or are made to these children by many of us. Okay, in her next meeting with Sahib Alam and other children, or his gang you can say, the author asks them that why they do not wear shoes, and to author's surprise they say that it is their tradition. It is their tradition to remain barefoot. These are so innocent, these children are so innocent that they do not know that remaining barefoot is not the tradition. It is because they cannot afford the shoes. It is because they cannot afford even the shoes, therefore they remain barefoot. But because they have been told by their parents or by their elders that remaining barefoot is their tradition, they are so innocent, these children are so innocent, they are so, they are so tender that they think that it is their tradition, and therefore they do not wear the shoes. So author feels pity for them, author feels sad for them, she feels disappointed for them, and therefore she thinks that education should be must for such kind of people, for such kind of children, so that they can enhance their future, so that they can know what is right and what is wrong, and at least they can enjoy their childhood. Now see children, these people, or I may say these children and their families, are the city migrant, and they have come to the city with the hope of getting 2 times meal. Just to get 2 times meal, they have migrated to the city from their native places. Because their native places could not give them even the 2 times meal, they have migrated to the big cities, and they do not have any identity card, any voter card. There is no name in their voter list, but they have ration cards, because through those ration cards they can avail 2 time meal. 2 times meal they can avail. It can, this ration card can avail them 2 times meal. Therefore they have only the ration card, no voter card, no other identity, because food is more important than identity. Now Sahib Alam tells the author that sometimes he finds a rupee in the garbage and he becomes so happy, sometimes even a 10 rupee note. They are so innocent that while rag picking, if they find just a rupee, just a coin, just a note of 10 rupee, they become so happy that they compare it with gold. Garbage is gold to them. Okay, now garbage is gold to these children, because it is the bundle of joy for them when they find a rupee, when they find a coin, when they find a 10 rupee note, a surprise. And for the adults, for the elders, it is the means of survival. It is the means of their livelihood, earning their livelihood. In the end, in the end of the story, the last part of the story, of this story, expresses when our author meets Sahib after some days, she does not find the carefree look on Sahib's face. Now this time Sahib was carrying a canister instead of the plastic bag. When the author asks him why he is carrying the canister, he replies that now he works at a tea stall. Okay, now he works at a tea stall and he gets 800 rupees and 2 times meal. Okay, now this canister which he was carrying on his shoulder is heavier than the plastic bag. Is described heavier than the plastic bag. Why? Because now Sahib is no longer his own master. He works under the owner of the tea stall. Therefore, he has lost his childhood, his innocence, and his carefree look. He is no longer his master. So here, this story shows that how Sahib lost his spring, or I can say lost his childhood joys, childhood innocence, childhood beauty, childhood hope, childhood dream, and how poverty draws child labor in the society. Okay, the story of Sahib Alam, or Sahib Alam, Lord of the Universe, but he is doing the work of the rag picking, and even he does not know the meaning of his name, that he is the Lord of the Universe. Okay, first thing. Secondly, these children are so innocent that they feel, or they think, or they have been told that it is their tradition to remain barefoot, though the reality is that they cannot afford. Thirdly, these children and their parents, their people, they are the city migrants. They have come from their native places, leaving the native places. Why? Because they could not get even the 2 times meal at their native places, and therefore they came to the city with the hope that they will get two times meal. Now they do not have any identity card, they do not have any name, they do not have their names on the voter list, but they have the ration cards, because food is more important for survival. Even the garbage for them is gold, both for the children and for the adults. For the children, it is a bundle of joy, it is a bundle of surprise, bundle of wonder. Why? Because sometimes they find a coin, sometimes they find a 10 rupee note, and they party. Okay, and for the adults, for the elders, for the parents, it is a means of survival, because it is the means of their livelihood. They earn their livelihood by picking the garbage. Okay, and finally Sahib Alam, who was even working as a rag picker, he was his own master. He was doing his work by on his own terms and conditions. Now after joining the tea stall, he has lost all his childhood innocence, he has lost all his childhood joy, he has lost all his carefree look, he has lost his childhood, because now he is no longer his own master. The canister, the milk canister, the tea canister which he is carrying is heavier than the plastic bag which he used to carry earlier when he was a rag picker. So this poverty has taken the childhood of this little child, Sahib Alam. Okay, now children, come to the second story. Second story, I want to drive a car. I want to drive a car. The title itself or the beginning line itself suggests about a dream, about a desire, about a wanting. Okay, it is a story of Mukesh who wants to learn driving a car. He wants to drive a car, but his family has been indulged in bangle making for long time. They live in Firozabad. Now Firozabad is a city which is famous for glass blowing industry. Every other family in Firozabad is indulged in bangle making. It seems that all the bangles in the world are manufactured, are produced at Firozabad only. Okay, now these people who are working in the bangle making industries and the factories, they do not know anything except the art of bangle making and earn their livelihood through bangle making only. They live in the extreme conditions. They live in dim and dirty places, crumpled houses, dingy cells, but because bangle making is the only profession they know they can do, they cannot help it. They work in severe conditions. The children working there, the people working there, they work in dim lights, darkness. Many of them have lost their eyesight before they even grow up. Before they even grow up. See, bangle making industry, they have to work in the dim lights, they have to work in the darkness. Their eyes are more adjusted to the darkness than to the sunlight, and therefore often they end up losing their eyesight. Now, when author talks to Mukesh, comes to his house, comes to his family and talks to his family members, she is surprised to know the mindset of the people, of the family members. You know, his grandmother, Mukesh's grandmother, she believes that it is their destiny, it is their karam, their destiny. They cannot help it out. They are destined to live in such a way. They are destined to work only in the bangle making factory. They are destined to live in dirty, dingy cells in crumpled houses. She also feels, she also believes that it is a God given lineage which cannot be broken. God has decided this for them and therefore they cannot break it. They are supposed to do this only and they cannot leave this profession. Now, it shows the backwardness and the orthodox mindset of his family and thoughts, as they feel that they can do nothing except bangle making, except this work only. Now, even this work has been decided by God himself, that they will do this work only. When the author talks to his father says that he does not know anything except bangle making, and through this profession he has built his own house. The father of Mukesh is proud that he has his own house which is so dirty, house which is so crumpled, house which is so dingy, so dim, where the good decent people cannot live there, cannot spend some time even there. So he is proud that at least he is having his own house. Now, if we talk about Mukesh in the family, he has different dream. He does not want to go with the tradition of the family. Tradition? The bangle making tradition of the family. He has other dreams. He wants to drive a car. He wants to become a motor mechanic. But because of his background and the orthodox family, orthodox society, and the socio-economic condition, tradition, he and the people like him find it difficult to materialize their dream, to 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 work on their dream, and many of them give up. Many of them end up with their dreams. When author asks Mukesh and the people like him that why they do not form a union, why they do not organize themselves, they reply that they are trapped in a vicious circle of middlemen, of sahukars, of policemen, of politicians, of bureaucrats, of landlords, and even if they try, they will be hauled, they will be arrested and beaten up for no reason. See, the privileged part of the society do not want this underprivileged part to come up, to materialize their dreams. Okay, so they do not help them, and even if they try to do something different in their life, they condemn them, they suppress them. This is the reason the Mukesh and like his people give to the author. But reality is they do not dare to dream. Reality is they do not have any leader among them. They are scared, they are afraid to materialize their have leader among, they do not have any leader among them. Now, weighed down by the debt, they cannot think differently. They cannot find a way to come out of this trap. They cannot think big, because they have, because they feel that if they are scared, they feel that even if they dare to dream, even if they dare to step out of this tradition of bangle making, politicians, middlemen, sahukars, policemen, and other privileged part of society, they will obstruct their ways of progress, and therefore they do not want to come, or they do not want to take the initiative. Okay, and apart from this, there is that they have seen nothing. They since their birth and after their childhood, they have been grown up into this bangle making industry. Every family, as I told you, in Firozabad is indulged in the bangle making industry. So children there do not dream to do something different. They have seen nothing except bangles and bangle making. But if we talk about Mukesh is different among them. He dreams differently. He dares to dream differently, and not only dreams, he has plans to materialize his dream. He is ready to go to garage by foot and learn the garage by foot, which is 10 miles away from his place. He is ready to go there by his foot to the garage and learn. He dares to dream, and therefore the author ends with the last line: few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. Few people among many dare to dream differently. Few people dare to change their destiny. They work, they have plans, they dream, they work on it. That is the end of this story again. So if we talk about this story, it is all about the bangle making industry of Firozabad, where approx 20,000 children are indulged in bangle making factories, in bangle making industries. Darkness, dimness, dingy cells, suffocated areas of those factories, suffocated working places of those factories gave them the health hazards also. But the family, the parents, their elders, their adults do not bother, because they feel that they are born to work, so they are destined to work here only, and therefore neither they nor their family nor their adults dare to dream. But Mukesh, he has different dream and he wants to become a motor mechanic and he has plans to materialize his dream. This is the second story. Now children, if we conclude whole and soul the chapter, we will see both the stories, as I told you, share the common theme. The chapter is about the grinding poverty and the traditions. See, grinding poverty, as Sahib-e-Alam, poor, does not have any choice except to help his family in the livelihood, in the survival. He did so. Okay, and therefore he did so. He was indulged into the child labor. Traditions. Mukesh, he dreams differently, but society, family, they do not want him to be the motor mechanic. Okay, why? Because they feel that they are destined to work in the bangle making industry. So the chapter is about the grinding poverty and the traditions which condemn poor children to a life of exploitation, and in this way the children are deprived to live a carefree life, a life of joy, a life of happiness, which is their right. These two stories taken together depict the plight of street children, underprivileged children, who are forced into labor and denied the opportunities of education, denied the opportunities of schooling, denied the opportunities of dreaming. Okay, and here title Lost Spring, as I told you earlier also, Sahib and Mukesh, they have lost their childhood innocence, childhood joy, childhood happiness, because they are trapped in the family, in the society, in the poverty, and therefore are forced to do the child labor. So the theme: poverty, child labor, socio-economic conditions, and the man-made traditions. Okay, these are the themes. Hope you all have understood the chapter. Again, after watching this video, go through the text of your books. You will understand better, and we will clear the doubts in our next class. Hope you all are safe at your homes. Stay fit, stay home. Goodbye.